Hello, Sale. Hello, John. So I've got Brahms on this morning, and because I find it soothing, and I'm about to make my friend Julie's famous carrot jalapeno soup. I got up early enough this morning. No, that's a total lie. I did not even sit up until 8:40 this morning. And so I'm a little behind the 8 ball, but I did get all of my stuff cut up, and I think we're good to go. Almost all the liquor stores are closed. I'm trying hard to collect enough unique cremants to start teaching the cremant project next week. But this week we're having vegetarian selections largely. I will admit that I was unaware that it would require a little bacon in this guy. So let's get this guy set up. But other than a couple of strips of bacon, we're going to be largely vegetarian this week. So I'm going to pop open this good all handy dandy bottle of Elam Pinot Noir, because I've been out of bed all of 2 hours and I haven't had a drink since I was in bed reading the newspaper this morning. So let's see. This wants to give me a little guff, but I think I'm strong enough. I think I can do it. Oh, good God. Sometimes they really do give you a hard time. There we go. Perfect. In my Save the Corks. Toss that out. A little wine for me. And now I think that I can kind of hear the pan getting warm. So let's lay some bacon strips in here and get this soup started. Okay, they're not quite as hot as you would like to hear some sizzling, but it'll come along soon enough. And here we go. Very good. So this is going to take several minutes, right? Well, it's not too hot to touch. I'm going to get my fingers down in there and squish some stuff around. Clean my fingers. So I went down a Brene Brown rabbit hole last night, which is, I guess, why I slept until 9 o'clock this morning, or nearly so, because I was up watching things. And, of course, she's a shame researcher, so she talks a lot about shame. And it reminded me of a wonderful Saturday morning riding in the car, listening to NPR. And the guest that morning was a researcher on shame. Hello, Teeny Gale, who studied the physical aspects of shame and found that when people are shamed or experience shame, they show the exact same physical response as if you've been stabbed. A rush of white blood cells come to this part of your body and all of these kinds of things. And so I was thinking about, gotta put the wine away. Can't let it get too warm. Oh gosh, the bacon smells so good. Pardon me. And so I was thinking about this whole scenario that we're in right now, the being at home, being trapped because of an illness, being trapped longer because of people who won't comply with what we've been told to do. A little good old-fashioned shame back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. I might have thought, wow, a good little healthy fear of God would go a long way to making it easier to raise your children. But now when you realize that it's physically damaging to people, it makes me feel, I'm kind of on the fence about this, right? I want people to feel ashamed enough to stay at home. But if shame creates a spike in cortisol, then that's going to make you physically more vulnerable. So I'm kind of on the fence morally about this morning. So I'd be happy to hear y'all. I'd love it if y'all could call in and weigh in. Hello, Elizabeth. Let's see. I will put that on my list of things to do. I will listen to the podcast because I have not. So I have, like I said the other day, I've been thirsty nonstop. So I can't get enough water to drink. My bacon is on too high, so let me turn this down a little bit. And let me turn it over And now this is the very first time I've ever made this soup. This is my friend Julie's wonderful, amazing. I've consumed my weight in it over the years. It is her carrot jalapeno soup. It is so good. She serves it like in shot glasses, and people think it's a cocktail. They can't imagine, hello Kevin, that it is not, oh, let's see, can I do this? Yes, I can. I have to find my recipe to make sure I'm going to do this right, because like I said, it is the first time I've ever made this one. So let's see. After our bacon is crisp, we're going to add carrots, onion, and celery. So our bacon is not quite crisp. So I assume I'm going to have to use this later. So I'm going to get my handy dandy paper towel ready here on my handy dandy plate to put my bacon on. So hello Taylor, how are you? So my friend Taylor is probably arguably the greatest fishmonger in New York and the Hudson River Valley. And so you should see what's cooking. If you are up the Hudson River Valley, call up Purdy's. Are you guys serving dinner or takeout up there, Taylor? Because if you are, let's get you some business going. And I actually was walking around a little this morning. I know it seems hard to believe since I didn't wake up until 9 o'clock. But I thought it might be a fun thing to do, to walk around and maybe take some photographs of places that are opening, are staying open, that are doing takeout, or maybe, you know, some great stuff where they'll give you partially finished meals and you can finish it up. I think that's a great idea. I know Weta is doing that out of Holly Hill in Kentucky. So there's that. So now that my bacon is cooked, I've pulled that out. I've got 2 cups of carrots, and I've got 3/4 cup of onion and 1/4 cup of celery. That's all going to go right in there. And we're going to let that soften up and cook a little bit. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Kathy. And cheers to everybody this morning. Heck, I'm just barely out of the bed, and here I'm at it this morning. But we are suffering time in quarantine, and I hope everyone is suffering gladly. I saw something this morning. I'm not 100% sure of its veracity, but I do trust the person who posted it. So one of my mom's best friends, that if 90% of us were to stay home, we'd be out in a month. If 80% of us stay inside, we'll be out in 3 months. We're at about 50% now. If 70% stay in, this will go on forever. Our economy will completely collapse, and life as we know it will be over. So guys, stay home. That's my number one thing to say, is stay home. And while you're staying home, my question to you is, what are you doing to get outside of yourself? You can't stay trapped inside your head. So yesterday, after I finished making biscuits, I made several plates of ham and biscuits, because like I figure, you know, I don't have any use for country ham since it's a long time to Derby. So I took the guys at my pizza parlor downstairs, who I know aren't making much money these days, and I gave them all ham and biscuits, and then I made the little ones with butter and jelly for dessert. And I took some to my doorman, and just kind of went around. I took some to my neighbor. I just kind of went around and tried to spread a little joy, you know, and I found some of the people were not in such a great shape mentally, you know, they were feeling pretty blue. And sometimes just a little something goes a really long way to changing your head and your heart, right? So if you've got somebody that you can social distance with and still be able to give a little tenderness, right? Try a little tenderness. That's my thing for today. So I'm letting my carrots cook up here, and I realized I started this in a skillet, and of course I'm gonna need some kind of a pot if we're making soup, right? So let me get the big pretty one that I love so much, my big purple one. And of course, just when I turned my apartment purple and green, they stopped making this color. It's a terrible, terrible thing. So let's see, this little pot can go away. Hello, Nancy. So today, Kathy, we are making my friend Julie Stennis's carrot jalapeno soup. So far, I have fried 3 strips of bacon. I know I told you this was going to be a vegetarian week, but I'm sorry, 3 strips of bacon isn't really, like, not vegetarian, I don't think. Says the farm girl. So, and I've got carrots, onions, and celery, 2 cups of carrots, a 3/4 cup of onion, and a 1/4 cup of celery. Softening up here in this pan. In a little bit, I'm going to add some garlic and the jalapeno, and I'm also going to add some crushed red pepper flakes. So let's get those out, and let's get our salt and pepper out, because that'll get added too in a little bit. And it is so hot in here, so give me 2 seconds while I go prop my front door open and get a little breeze blowing in here. Woohoo! So, where did my stick go? Here we go. Okay. Fantastic. Now we're going. Now it'll be a wind tunnel in here in any second now. So let's see if how these guys are doing. I think I might just get this guy back here starting to warm up a little bit, so it'll be ready when I'm ready to transfer. Oh, I can already feel the cool breeze now. This recipe does call for 6 cups of chicken stock, but I happen to have a nice 6-cup box of vegetable stock, and I don't think that that's going to make too much of a difference here today. And I'm going to have another sip of wine. Hooray to me. Let's see, how much of this, we need a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. So let's get that ready to go. And I think I will just go ahead and transfer this into this big pot, because why not, right? So it is a beautiful day in New York, something that we've not really seen enough of in a while. So I hope everybody has some opportunity today to get up, get out, get going, do some stuff. Enjoy the day, because being out in the sunshine, getting some vitamin D in the rods and cones of your eyes is an important thing for all of our mental health. So I hope that you all are taking care of your mental health. One of the things that I'm most hopeful about is that all of this that we're going through right now will end up making our world a better place, because we won't treat mental health like it's something to be ashamed of. As I've said several times, I feel like we're probably all going to have some degree of PTSD. Especially, like I said, if we continue to be 50-60% of people who are compliant, we're going to be in here forever, and we will go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So 4 good sunny days. So, well, good. I'm glad you got fired before in time to enjoy the sunny. Is there right? Hello, Diane. And so, yes, this is a creme mentale sauce today. It's probably largely Pinot Noir, but maybe Sale, would you like to be my wine assistant and check and see if the Rosé Villum creme mentale sauce is indeed all Pinot Noir? I can't imagine what else they put in it. Let's see. Oh, fried? You got fried Saturday? Oh, okay. I got fried every day. That's all I can do while I'm here inside. So, here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to I have 2 seeded, finely sliced jalapenos here. I don't get too crazy with the seeding because I'm not scared of heat. I love heat. The spicier, the better. Let's put our 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes in here. And bang, bang, bang. Just, a heaping sort of 1/4 teaspoon. All right? The heat capsaicin is one of those things that is exceedingly good for your health. It's why, if I could show you in a minute, I'll show you the giant knob of ginger I got this morning. It's literally like the size of a baseball mitt. So we're going to let that cook up in here a little bit. This is great. And you know how I love to use a microplane. So if I can get down in here I'm going to microplane some ginger in here. And let's see. Fried sunburned. There you go. Kathy got sunburned. Oh, yeah, you got to be careful, honey. Libra skin does not tan very well. So you might as well just enjoy the fact that you've got poreless, beautiful, flawless skin all of your life. But, boy, you're just not going to tan. Small children in my life make fun of me because I can't really tan. I can. I just have to go very slowly and never go out between 10 and 2. I can tan before 10 a.m. and after 2 p.m. And frankly, there's no better time on the beach because I'm a bocce fanatic. Can we fantasize about how much we love to be at the beach? It is my favorite place to be. It is my happy place. And I'm already looking forward to hopefully being back to enough of a sense of normalcy, pardon me, and the banging, so that we get to enjoy the beach this summer. So stay home. Baby needs the beach. Let's see what's, oh, it's smelling like $1 million flippin' dollars in here today, guys. Let's get that. So now I'm supposed to let this cook. I've got my 2 cups of carrots chopped up. I've got 3/4 of a cup of onion, a 1/4 cup of celery. I've got 2 seeded, chopped up pieces of 2 whole jalapenos, and I just put 3 cloves of garlic in here. So we're just going to let this cook just long enough for that garlic to start to brown up. And this is absolutely smelling like you can't even believe how pretty this is. So, let's see. What does this say? So we're going to stir. We're going to cook this about 3 minutes, and then we're going to add the wine. So I have here 1/3 of a cup of wine ready to go. This is just kind of this is actually a really nice wine that I have. It's from Babylon Storn, which is one of my clients. They are an amazing destination winery in South Africa. So look them up if you don't have anything to do. It is one of the most remarkable places I've ever visited. So the owners are both highly successful native South Africans who went to Columbia Business School, and they decided to buy the most historic property in South Africa, or at least in the Western Cape of South Africa, and completely restored. So all of the 17th century buildings have been restored, and you sleep in them. And they laid out a formal 8-acre fruit and vegetable garden. And there are 3 restaurants, or 2 restaurants and a tasting room. And there is a pizza place. And they pretty much everything that you eat while you're visiting the farm is grown on the farm, except we don't currently do animal husbandry, but we have neighbors down the road who do that. So now my garlic is smelling great, and I'm going to pour this wine right in here. Beautiful. Now it says to bring that to a boil. I don't think that's going to take very long at all. So who's here? Hello, George. Hello, Jay. And let's see. You have cayenne in your coffee. I like that. That's interesting. I've never thought about that. Really? Cayenne in your coffee? Do you put milk in there too? I like it. So I'm going to let this I'm letting the wine smush around and get on all my veg so that everything's impacted by it. So anyway, this wine that I put in there is a little of the Viognier that we have. It's one of those things, you know, conventional wisdom says that in general, only the very finest wines, white wines that either have a little bit of sugar or the right kind of oak aging can really age for long periods of time. This is a 2015 Viognier that maybe 1/3 of it sees a little bit of second pass oak. It's still vibrant and beautiful, and it's so good. It's just so good. It stays great. And years ago, when I first brought it into the country, we found that it was great with Indian food, any kind of curry. It's just the perfect kind of balance for. So turmeric, cayenne, and cinnamon in coffee. I like that. y'all are very much better at your taking care of yourself than I am. I like it. I'm jealous. So here we go. That is boiling, and then I think it's going to ask me to add. Hang on a sec. This is not the whole of the recipe. I'm going to have to go someplace else. That was just a screenshot so that I could see. Here we go. Here's status. And here we go. Oh, this is not correct. I have to look at it someplace else. I think I can probably figure this out. It's not that hard. So anyway, here's all of my ingredients are in here except for this. Well, not all of them, but now it calls for 6 cups of stock. So I'm going to give this a good shake. Good shake, a good shake. And pull it out. Oops. Stock. And then we're going to pour this on here. And then we're going to have to wait about 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, I'm going to get to take out my handy dandy wonderful immersion blender, and we're going to blend all this, puree this, and add 1.5 ounces of sharp cheddar, 1.5 ounces of pepper jack, pardon my language, pardon my forgetfulness, and a little bit of heavy cream as we blend it all together. So I'm thinking that we can just put this on to simmer because it needs its time, right? Never waste, never want, right? So there we go. So this is going to go on to simmer for about 20 minutes. Hello, Kel, how are you? And then maybe we'll come back in a little bit when it's time to do all this. I'll get all this meshigas cleaned up. I'll finish my glass of wine. I'll find out exactly what's in it. And then we'll come back, let's say 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. And we'll finish it up and see how great it tastes. Because the whole keeping the kitchen clean has become my new obsession, I have to say. Well, I think it does call for me to put a little salt and pepper in here. So let me put just a little salt in here because, why not? Salt is good. Salt is life, right? Without salt, how do you have flavor? You can never put too much pepper in. So there we go, guys. So I'm going to take about a 30-minute break and get all this ready to go. This is Kelly. This is Julie Stennis's carrot jalapeno soup. So frankly, in the time that I'm going to take off for just a minute to get ready for phase 2 of making this soup, you guys could catch up with me. 3 strips of bacon, fry them crisp. Then you're going to take 2 cups of carrots, 3/4 cup of onion, 1/4 cup of celery. Cook all that in the bacon fat. Then add 2 jalapenos, seeded and cut up, and a couple of cloves of garlic. 1/3 of a cup of white wine. Bring it to a boil and add 6 cups of, it calls for chicken stock, but I had a big 6-cup box of vegetable stock, and there's that. So when we come back, let me forget, I'm going to talk to you about my personal challenge. And I am seeing that my skinny legs are getting a little floppy, and I don't like that. So I've made a challenge for myself, and I'm going to go do that right now. So I'll see you guys. I'm going to set a timer. I'll see you in 30 minutes. Love ya. Go make yourself something delicious to eat.